Stumbling over the coffee table, my Aunt Khaki reveals the unopened fifth of gin hidden under her leather sectional. Taking a sip, she begins to dance while moving her hand across her body. She doesn't acknowledge me as she continues to stumble through the house to her bedroom, collapsing face up onto her waterbed. You all right? I ask, while walking into the room and rolling on the bed. They think it's easy for pretty girls, but it's not, she says, speaking in a desperate tone while staring at herself through the large mirror hanging over her bed. Most men don't have the confidence to deal with us, so they steal our confidence instead, she says. No man can steal my confidence, I say, moving a little closer. Shit, girl, you're fucking crazy. There is no way God is going to let you be that pretty and be happy too, especially if you plan on being married, she says, laughing so hard she falls from her bed. Looking on the bright side, at least this bottle of gin is half full, she says, leaving the bottle and walking over to a tall, heavy mirror leaning against the corner, stroking her body as she analyzes herself. You see, Sheela, God gave us a magical pussy, 2 big old thighs, and a behind to protect our hearts. Men can't fuck 2 things at once, Aunt Khaki says, sucking her gold teeth and crossing her legs to sit on the ground. She grabs a pack of rolling papers before pulling a tray of crushed leaves onto her lap. It's crazy how being pretty works out. You spend your whole childhood pissed for being locked up like a porcelain doll, only to choose a man who do the same, she says, licking the rolling paper and lighting the end. She takes a puff. You want to hit this? She asks, offering me the joint. I turn my lips and shake my head in decline. You sure, girl? This some good shit, she says, offering as if it for the last time. The smell of marijuana smoke lingers in the air. I inhale the sweet, mellow aroma as I touch my thigh and reminisce on my grandmother's punishment. What if she knows? I say, making eye contact with Aunt Khaki. You're grown, Sheela, she says, shaking her head and retracting the lit joint. Wait, I say, crawling to the floor and removing the joint from her fingers. Taking the first puff, I deeply inhale and then take another. The stress melts from my brain as I enjoy the sweet floral taste of the peppery herb. Returning the joint to my aunt, I recline on the floor, consumed by magical thoughts and epiphanies. She returns the joint to my fingers, and I take another puff. Scooting to a box sitting beside her record player, she fingers through the covers, Prince. She says, selecting the record and setting the needle on the player, the sounds of hypnotic organ chords play through the speaker. Aunt Khaki stands, positioning herself in front of the mirror. Dearly beloved, the song starts. She winds her hips through her torso, lifting her hands in the air. Let's go crazy! She screams in unison with the voice on the record, dancing excitedly while pumping her fists in the air. She pulls my limp body from the floor, forcing me to dance with her. As we throw ourselves around the room and dance, I'm excited and breathless, but I can't stop. Pouncing together, we jump onto her waterbed and scream lyrics into the overhead mirror. Fighting the violent waves of the water mattress, Aunt Khaki leaves the bed and walks into her closet, Out of breath, she removes her clothes while dragging several garments behind her. She jiggles her naked body in the mirror before pulling a shimmering red dress over her head. The deep neckline plunges to her belly and the split reveals her entire leg to the waist. Standing on her toes, she reminisces. I used to turn heads in this one. I'd walk into the club, take a seat at the bar, and have 5 men waiting to buy me a drink. Everybody in the club wanted this, honey, she says, admiring herself for a while, then pulling the dress over her head. Oh, and this one? She laughs, picking a short, hot pink dress and pulling it on. This is the dress that bagged your Uncle Ricky. That bastard, I should throw this shit away, she says, removing the dress and tossing it in the corner. The needle on the player lifts and the next song begins. Spinning naked in the mirror, she sings along. I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I am something that you'll never understand. She gyrates her naked body towards the joint and relights it. Coming to lie on the bed beside me, she takes several puffs before passing it to me. My bad. I forgot you were a smoker now, she jokes. I accept the now fingernail-sized joint from her hand, place it to my lips, and inhale the smoke. Ouch! I burned my lip, I say, tossing the joint into the tray. Welcome to the club, says Aunt Khaki, turning down her lip and revealing several burn marks on the inside. Try this one on, she says, picking up a white dress with golden embellishments. I want to see how it fits you. Excited, she hops over and begins removing my clothes. A feeling of euphoric relief travels through my body as she pulls the undersized stockings from my legs. Standing naked with my aunt, I can't help but notice our family resemblance. Pulling the dress over my head, she steps back and places her hand over her mouth. Well, I question, staring back at her. I'm fucking speechless. How come I didn't see it until now? She says, slowly approaching me and grabbing my shoulders. We turn towards the mirror. My God, look at what your mama gave you, she says, staring into my reflection. My mama had a body like this? I question, rubbing my hands over the dress as it hugs the curves of my body. Yep, and I wouldn't show anybody if I were you. Hell, that's probably why mama put you in those little ass church stockings. She laughs while clapping her hands in the air. She saw that shit and was like, hell no, not today. Shaking her head and walking towards the dresser, she grabs a jar of cocoa butter and begins rubbing the cream on her hands. Didn't you bring a plate in here? She asks. Oh yeah, I say, running excitedly out of the room. I have never been so happy to be reminded about a plate of food in my life. Apparently, marijuana makes me a different kind of hungry, a better kind. The thought of consuming the loaded plate of food warms my soul as I dance into the kitchen. I return with the warm plate and place it on the side of the bed. We both kneel and, in silence, eat the mounds of soul food, savoring the enhanced flavor. Each delicious bite is followed by another until the plate is clean. We fall back onto the floor with hands on our overly full bellies. Aunt Khaki's naked body lies sprawled on the carpet. Damn, that was good, she says, lifting to a sitting position and pulling the tray of crushed leaves onto her lap. I crawl over and rest my head on her thigh. Did my mama smoke? I ask, as she rolls the white paper around the leaves and uses her tongue to seal it closed. No, but she made the best edibles. I remember having a complete set of cookbooks dedicated to it. I'm still upset over losing that brownie recipe, she says, bringing the joint to her lips and lighting it. See, Sheela, that's why you have to be careful. Some men will kill you before they see you with someone else. Releasing the smoke from her lungs, she continues. Truth be told, I told your mama to stop that sexual healing bullshit long before that dude went crazy. Men are possessive over good pussy, whether they already married or not. Shit. This pussy is magical. What's that leprechaun from the cereal box say? She says, taking another puff and passing me the joint. It's magically delicious, we say in unison, laughing onto the floor. The sound of keys clicking on the lock. Fuck! What time is it? Says Aunt Khaki, reaching for her alarm clock. 9:36 p.m. Fuck! Rick is off work, she says, quickly lifting her body from the ground and assessing the messiness of the room. Put that out and help me throw all these dresses in the closet, she says, handing me a pile of clothes. Oh no! 9:36? Aunt Khaki, I have to go. Grandmother is gonna kill me, I say while throwing the dresses onto the closet floor. So you're just gonna sit here all day and smoke Uncle Ricky's weed, then leave me to deal with him? Family, then be the ones, she says, nervously shaking and pulling a miniskirt over her head. Really, Aunt Khaki? I say, looking at her still half-naked body. Hey, Uncle Ricky, I say, motioning for a hug as he walks in the room. How you doing, Sheela? Does your grandmother know you're here smoking dope with my wife? He says, looking into my red, glossy eyes. Uncle Ricky's attention moves towards Aunt Khaki's naked legs as she stands there with her arms crossed, the miniskirt covering only her breast. Get on out of here, Sheela. I need to talk to my wife, he says, while walking around me, staring passionately at her. I was just leaving, I say, grabbing my shoes and purse and rushing to the front door. Driving home, the stress returns to my brain and I allow fearful thoughts to flow through my mind. The clock in my car says 10:12 p.m. as I arrive in front of my grandmother's house and begin towards the door. The embellishments of my dress sparkle in the streetlights and my heels clack on the pavement as I walk up the steep drive to the house. Approaching the door, I see her standing there, staring through the screen. Her furious eyes and small stature meet me on the porch as I approach the door. I know what it looks like, but that's not it at all, I say as the shock on her face gives me a glimpse into her thoughts. Look at you, a high yellow floozy, walking down the street with your arms, legs, and back all out. Get your big ass in this house before you catch a cold or a John, says my grandmother while pushing the screen door. Yes, grandmother, I say, taking a deep breath and withholding my emotions before looking into her eyes. Do I sense an attitude, Sheela? What? Are you supposed to be grown now? She says. The screen door slams against the side of the house as she steps forward. No, ma'am. I just lost track of time with Aunt Khaki and I'm really tired. Can I please come in now? I say, walking towards the door as she pushes her hand against my shoulder to stop me. Yeah, you tired all right. Just as tired and sorry as your mama used to be. You might end up like her the route you're going, she says, dropping her hand from my shoulder and looking me up and down. Yes, grandmother, I respond, hoping to end the verbal lashing. As I move closer to the doorway, my grandmother yanks the side of my curly thick hair and brings it closer to her nose. Have you been smoking, Sheela? My God, you are such a disappointment, she says, shaking her head and releasing my hair. That's why you're so damn tired. You're out here on dope with your ass out. Then you want to walk in my house, smelling like who did it and what for? You have lost your damn mind, she says, grabbing my arm and jerking me into the house. Ouch, grandmother, that hurts, I say as her nails dig into the skin under my arm. Slamming the door to the house, she releases my bruised arm and walks towards the bathroom. I stand in the foyer, realizing that I am now an unwelcome guest in my grandmother's home. Get in here, she yells from the bathroom. I can hear the shower running into the tub behind her. You think you're dirty? Dope fiend ass is about to walk through my house? She says. Her hand is extended from the bathroom door as I approach. Take off that piece of trash you call a dress and get your funky ass in this shower, she says, removing the dress. I stand naked in front of her, feeling much more ashamed of my body. I cover it with my hands as I inch past my grandmother into the shower, hoping she'll leave. I quickly close the curtain, but she begins to talk through the barrier. You know, Sheela, it seems that all I can make are pretty girls with thick asses and small brains. I keep trying, and y'all keep letting me down. She takes a seat on the toilet and continues. I prayed to God after your mama passed to please make you easier on me than the girls were. Please don't let her be a sex witch like her mama or have her nose wide open like her aunts. I've tried and tried, but I can hear destiny calling your name. You're a hoe, Sheela, just like your mama. I've been seeing it in you. That white man she got with to make you left his mark to? You think too much, just like him. She stops, groaning a little as she pulls herself to a stand. Well, classes are out tomorrow. You're going to clean this entire house from top to bottom. Then go to Sister Webb's Women's Fellowship meeting. You hear me, girl? She says, placing a towel and a nightgown on the toilet seat as she removes herself from the bathroom. Yes, grandmother. Thank you, I whimper, relieved as she closes the door. Tears stream down my face and I drop to my feet. The water from the shower hits my body as I lay motionless in the tub, sobbing, breathless and exhausted. My chest feels cold and empty, and the world goes silent. I pray, asking God to send me warmth, the love of my mama, and a glimpse of my father, urging him to send it now so that I don't die here in the tub, but hoping that at least a part of me would. More than an hour has passed. My skin is withered and I'm beginning to shiver. There is no warmth or love raining down as I had asked. Only chilly drips of water. Turning off the shower and reaching for the towel, I dry my body and slowly dress for bed. Depressed, I stare into the mirror, further contemplating my loveless destiny before leaving the bathroom. Tipping through the hall, I stop to see my grandmother sleeping peacefully in her room. The reflection of her black and white television bounces off the walls, and her snore supersedes the noise from the program. I walk in and stare at her for a moment, placing a kiss on her cheek and whispering, "Maybe you're right, grandmother. I guess we'll see." I pull the blanket to cover her shoulders before continuing to my bed. There's something calming about walking into my cold bedroom at the end of the day. The ceiling fan moves the smell of scented vanilla candles through the air, and my mood is mellowed by the warm, soft glow of the nightlight. I climb on top of my heavily pillowed bed, placing the yellow decor on my reading chair before sliding between the fresh cotton sheets. The comforter is heavy on my body as I relax into the dense softness, allowing today's events to flash through my mind. Sexual healing, sex witch. The new revelations on my mama's life consume my thoughts as I grow depressed, desperate to know more. The coldness in my chest intensifies as hot tears run down my face into the pillow. I imagine what life would be like if I had my mama. She would know just what to say. I think to myself, wishing for an answer. Well, maybe being a little bit of a hoe won't be so bad. It's got to be better than this, I say, attempting to lift my spirit. I flip my pillow to the cooler side and wedge another pillow between my legs. Dark thoughts and erotic visions creep from my mind, linking it into my cold, empty chest and filling the space once reserved for love. My body loses consciousness, winning the fight as the torture ceases, allowing me to sleep peacefully until the morning.